Ever wondered what's flowing through your veins right now? It's not just some red liquid. It's a bustling city of trillions of tiny, life-giving cells, each with a specific job, a specific purpose. And today, we're diving deep, shrinking down to their size to explore the incredible world within a single drop of your blood. This is the secret anatomy of your blood cells, a journey into the very essence of you. Let's start with the most famous resident of your bloodstream, the red blood cell, or as scientists call it, the erythrocyte. Picture a tiny, squishy donut, but without the hole all the way through. It's more like a disc that's thinner in the middle. This unique Bic and cave shape is pure genius. Why? It dramatically increases the cell's surface area, allowing it to absorb and release oxygen more efficiently. It also makes it incredibly flexible, letting it squeeze through the narrowest of blood vessels, some even smaller than the cell itself. But what's inside this little lifesaver? The star of the show is a protein called hemoglobin. Each red blood cell is packed with about 270 million hemoglobin molecules. Imagine each hemoglobin as a tiny taxi. When you breathe in, these taxis rush to your lungs, pick up oxygen passengers, and turn a bright, cheerful red. They then travel all over your body, dropping off oxygen to every single tissue and organ, from your brain to the tips of your toes. On the way back, they pick up a waste product, carbon dioxide, and carry it back to the lungs for you to exhale. And here's a wild fact. Red blood cells are so dedicated to this job that they get rid of their nucleus and most other organelles as they mature. They are essentially just tiny, efficient bags of hemoglobin, sacrificing their ability to repair themselves or reproduce for the greater good of delivering oxygen. This is also why they have a limited lifespan of about 120 days. Your body is a non-stop factory, producing millions of new red blood cells every single second to replace the old ones. Now, let's meet the body's security force, the white blood cells, or leukocytes. Unlike the uniform red cells, white blood cells are a diverse crew with different specialties, like a highly trained special ops team. There are 5 main types, and they are the unsung heroes of your immune system. First up, the neutrophils. These are the first responders, the most abundant type of white blood cell. When you get a cut or an infection, neutrophils are the first on the scene. They are phagocytes, which means eating cells. They literally engulf and digest invading bacteria and fungi. The pus you might see in an infected wound. A large part of that is actually the remains of these heroic neutrophils that sacrificed themselves in battle. Then we have the lymphocytes. These are the intelligence agents of your immune system. There are 2 main kinds, B cells and T cells. B cells are like the weapons manufacturers. They produce antibodies, which are special proteins that lock onto specific invaders, tagging them for destruction. T cells are more versatile. Some are helper T cells that coordinate the entire immune response, like a field commander. Others are killer T cells, which directly attack and destroy your own cells that have been infected by viruses or have turned cancerous. They are the precision assassins of the cellular world. Next, meet the monocytes. These are the largest of the white blood cells and act as the cleanup crew. They can transform into powerful macrophages, or big eaters, once they move from the bloodstream into the tissues. They gobble up dead cells, cellular debris, and any pathogens the neutrophils might have missed. They're not just janitors, though. They also play a crucial role in alerting the lymphocytes to the presence of an enemy. And we can't forget the eosinophils and basophils. These are the specialists. Eosinophils are your go-to defense against larger parasites, like worms, and they are also involved in allergic reactions. Basophils are the rarest type, but they pack a punch. They release chemicals like histamine, which is why you might get inflammation, redness, and swelling during an allergic reaction or injury. It's their way of sounding the alarm and calling for backup. So you have the oxygen carriers and the protectors. What's missing? The emergency repair team. And that's where platelets come in. Platelets, or thrombocytes, aren't even full cells. They're actually small, irregular-shaped fragments of very large cells made in your bone marrow called megakaryocytes. Imagine you get a paper cut. A vessel wall is breached. This is a code red for the platelets. They rush to the site of the injury. When they arrive, they undergo a dramatic transformation. They become sticky and spiky, clumping together to form a temporary plug. This is the first step in stopping the bleeding, but that's just the beginning. They also release chemical signals that start a complex chain reaction called the coagulation cascade. This involves a series of proteins in your blood plasma called clotting factors activating one another in a domino effect. The end result is the formation of a protein called fibrin. Fibrin threads weave a mesh-like net over the platelet plug, trapping red blood cells and creating a strong, stable clot, kind of like biological rebar in concrete. This clot seals the wound, preventing further blood loss and protecting the area while it heals. It's an incredibly efficient and life-saving process that happens automatically thousands of times in your life without you even thinking about it. So, let's put it all together. All of these amazing cells, the red cells, the 5 types of white cells, and the platelets are all suspended and floating in a yellowish liquid called plasma. Plasma is about 90% water, but that other 10% is packed with vital substances, proteins like the clotting factors we just talked about, hormones that act as messengers, nutrients like glucose and fats, and waste products on their way to be filtered out. Plasma is the river in which the city of blood cells lives and travels. And where does this incredible cellular metropolis originate? It all begins in the soft, spongy tissue inside your bones, the bone marrow. Deep within your bone marrow are remarkable hematopoietic stem cells. These are the master cells, the ultimate source of every single blood cell you have. They can divide and differentiate, transforming into a red blood cell, a neutrophil, a B cell, or any of the other types, depending on what your body needs at that moment. It's a continuous, beautifully regulated process of renewal, ensuring your internal army is always ready for action. So, the next time you see a drop of blood, remember it's not just a drop of red, it's a universe in miniature. It's a complex, dynamic, and perfectly orchestrated system of oxygen couriers, elite soldiers, and emergency repair crews, all working together in perfect harmony 24/7 to keep you alive and healthy. The anatomy of your blood cells is one of the greatest stories of biology happening inside you right now. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey into the microscopic world within. If you found this fascinating, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the amazing science of you. See you in the next one.